I'm a textbook overthinker. I constantly overanalyze simple situations, and I'm definitely guilty of overthinking in my Hardcore Nuzlocke runs as well. Today, I want to keep things simple. Dumb things down. Punch first, ask questions later. What better way is there to accomplish my goal than by doing a Hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokémon FireRed using only Fighting-type Pokémon? There's only 5 available encounters, 4 of whom are pure Fighting-type. On top of that, they all learn pretty similar moves, with the obvious exception being Poliwrath, who's the only one who can even sort of utilize special attacking moves with any effectiveness. They're perfect. All muscle, no brains. In spite of their scarcity, there is actually an encounter prior to the first gym. The problem for this challenge comes later, where both Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee are only obtainable through the Saffron Fighting Dojo, and the self-appointed gatekeeper Black Belt Koichi won't let me have both of them if I prove my strength and defeat everyone inside. Maybe I should open my own dojo. From now on, I shall be referred to as Sifu Kyle, and the region of Kanto is my dojo. In my dojo, we don't stop people from accessing Pokemon they want to use. Through the power of persuasion and a few idle threats of physical violence, Professor Oak lets me swap out a Bulbasaur for a Hitmonchan that I name Ali. Over on Route 22, I find Ali a sparring partner in Tyson the Mankey. Tyson could take out Brock on his own, so obviously having both he and Ali is a bit of overkill. Aside from the encounter limitations placed on us by Black Belt Koichi, the other issue we would run into in the early game is trying to defeat our rival and Misty with just Tyson. Hitmonlee would make things a bit too easy, but Hitmonchan is just limited enough to provide a challenge, even with the base stats being high for this point of the game. After training at Mount Moon, I find some fellow fighting masters who offer to teach new techniques to my students. One masters in the art of punching, and the other in kicking. After teaching Ali Mega Punch, Master says I should go before I'm seen by the misguided fool who trains only his silly kicking over there. You mean the guy staring right at me who's definitely within earshot of this conversation? This man has clearly mastered the art of no thoughts head empty. I have a lot to learn, or unlearn. I decide it's time to put our newly learned combat skills to the test against our rival and his Pidgeotto. Ali does quite a bit of damage with a Mega Punch, and his Keen Eye ability will prevent this stupid bird from kicking sand in his face like he loves to do. It doesn't prevent him from getting critical hits with Gust, though. Now Ali has to prove he's ready for the challenge. If he misses, it's over.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
His Psychic type only knows Teleport, so I guess there is such a thing as keeping it too simple. I'll try to remember that going forward. Tyson steps in for Ali and handles the rest of the battle. The dynamic duo is off to a great start. We're riding high and we're ready to take on Misty. Ali does great damage with a Mach Punch, and his special defense means a Water Pulse does negligible damage in return. The problem isn't her Staryu though, it's her Psychic type Starmie. While it doesn't have a Psychic type move, it does resist our Fighting type moves. Thanks to its bulk, a Mega Punch doesn't even do half. Ali heals up thanks to an Oran Berry, and he's healthy enough to take another hit. That is, until he gets confused. Instead of Mega Punching Starmie, he Mega Punches himself in the head and gives himself a concussion. Well, Tyson may have been able to handle Brock, but he has no chance against Starmie. That's all for attempt number 1. As their master, I should have trained them better. My students were unprepared for the challenge, and that's on me. I reopen my dojo and get a few new students that I named Ali 2 and Tyson 2. This time around, I've prepared them for what's in store against Misty. Ali 2 handles Staryu without taking any damage, and this time I decided to listen to the kicking master instead of the punching master. In my quest to keep things simple, I clearly overcorrected before. That guy was an idiot. A Mega Kick does well over 50%, and a second takes out Starmie and earns us our second badge. Okay, did I get hit in the head at the gym too, or is this Pokemon actually talking to me? I wanted to take my disciples on a cruise to blow off some steam, but we all ended up having a few too many drinks and got into a fight with our rival. Ali 2, fueled by the power of 7 Appletinis, lands a critical hit Mach Punch and knocks out his bird in one punch. His Psychic type is now evolved, but overthinks the situation and goes for a Disable instead of just hitting a super effective Psychic type move, which leads to him getting kicked in the face and knocked out. Ali 2 is training a bit too hard, as he's dangerously close to the level cap, so I have Tyson 2 come in and gain some experience before having Ali 2 finish off the fight. All of this ruckus gets us kicked off the ship. That's okay, time to hit the gym. Lieutenant Surge is a cruel gym owner. I didn't come here to solve impossible puzzles, I came here to get a workout. I finally make it to him and he starts to hurl insults at me and my students, saying our power is puny and calling me kid. We'll show him. Tyson 2 learned the ground type technique Dig, which is able to one-shot both Voltorb and Pikachu. Raichu comes in and I may have taken this no thinking thing a little bit too far because Tyson 2 was definitely dead to a crit. Not only does Tyson 2 avoid being crit, but after Raichu goes for a quick attack while he's underground, he comes up and hits a crit of his own and takes out Raichu. I'd like to tell you that I know for sure that a non-critical hit would one-hit KO, but I completed this run a while ago and I genuinely don't remember. I could pretend that I'm some sort of super genius that knew he would go for quick attack while Tyson 2 was underground, but I absolutely did not. Just pure brawn and no brains. While the duo of Ollie and Tyson are great, as well as the stray cat that follows us around the region, I think it's time to recruit a new disciple to the dojo. Atlas the Machop was training alone in Rock Tunnel, and with his guts ability and lonely nature, I knew he was perfect. We make our way to the big city in Celadon, and while training against some of the local gym members, Tyson 2 evolves into a primate. Atlas trains just as hard and evolves into a Machoke. Our muscles are only getting bigger, and our brains are only getting smaller. Because the idea of botany is too complicated for us, we decide to settle our beef with Erika with our fists. Tyson 2 can learn an aerial technique, which gives us the advantage over her plants. Her Vileplume is the only one that landed a single blow, and that was a stun spore that got cured by a cherry berry. Light work. Gym 4 defeated. When looking for the bathroom at the local casino, we make a wrong turn and end up in the manager's office, where he challenges us to a fight which he clearly wasn't ready for. He leaves, but he forgets to take his Silph Co with him. We head over to the Pokemon Tower where our rival is waiting for us, but he's clearly been lacking on his training as he's a lot weaker than we are at this point. Bro needs to hit the gym. After saving Mr. Fuji, we can clear the path to the fisherman's house and get the Super Rod and add Khabib the Poliwag to the group. Thanks to a Water Stone purchased at the department store in Celadon, Khabib evolves from a weak water type into a powerful fighting water type Poliwrath. We've got a strong group, but there's one thing missing. While Ollie 2 mastered the kicking technique, it's just a skill, it's not his specialty. We need a master. The only way to do this is by going to the fighting dojo in Saffron and confronting Black Belt Koichi in person. He was no match for us, and as promised gives us one of his students, knowing that Sifu Kyle is the only master worthy of teaching such a powerful student. Welcome to the dojo, Bruce. Inspired by the natural skill and strength of Bruce, Atlas powers up into a Machamp. In Silph Co, our rival demands a rematch. Clearly he took our last fight to heart, and he's been working out relentlessly ever since. He's upgraded his team a lot, and this is going to be a tough fight. Atlas has been pre-poisoned to activate his Guts ability, which lets him knock out his Pidgeot in one hit with Revenge. A secret power smashes most of his eggs, but one hangs on and hits a Confusion. Atlas is low, but he's strong enough to survive one more tick of poison. Bruce tags in and one-shots his Alakazam with a return. Thankfully, he doesn't know Psychic yet. In comes his starter, who's grown a set of wings. I have Ollie 2 pivot in to take the Future Sight, then tag in Khabib, who gets crit by a wing attack. He needs to work on his technique. This is what he gets for overcomplicating things and having a secondary typing instead of being just a pure fighter. He's thinking too much. I have to send Bruce back in, who almost gets taken out by a wing attack. That's why I swapped in the first place. If he misses a Rock Slide, the combination of a wing attack and Future Sight would have taken him out, but now he doesn't have a choice. He locks in and nails the Rock Slide and drops his wannabe dragon. Apparently he has a type, because a water variant of a wannabe dragon comes in and hits a Dragon Rage onto Ollie 2. A Mega Kick does a ton of damage, but Ollie 2 would be dead to another Dragon Rage, so I send in Tyson 2 to finish off the fight. He wasn't kidding when he said he'll become the world's most powerful trainer, but he's wrong. That title belongs to me, Sifu Kyle. Compared to Gary, Giovanni is a walk in the park. Honestly, a walk in the park sounds like more of a workout than this fight. The next two fights, however, seem like they should be a true test for my disciples. Koga's poison types resist our fighting techniques, but Khabib uses his brain, something generally frowned upon in my dojo, to take down Coughing. Muck is too specially bulky to receive the same treatment, so I try to have Khabib put it to sleep, but he misses. He cures the Toxic with a held Pecha Berry, but I swap into Atlas hoping for another in order to activate his Guts ability, but he just goes for a Minimize. You think making yourself smaller will help you here? What sort of reverse training is this? Anyways, it doesn't work out for him. Khabib comes back in to take out the other coughing with a psychic as well. Normally I wouldn't allow such thoughtful tactics, but he's the perfect sparring partner to keep around so the rest of the meatheads can get more prepared for the challenges that await us. That training will come in handy because our next gym battle is against Sabrina and her psychic types. Theoretically the biggest problem for us in all of Kanto. That is, if my star pupil Bruce weren't around. He's able to outspeed and one-shot her entire team with return. The lesson here, kids, is never use your brain. Always solve your problems by fighting. I arrive at Cinnabar Island, and even in a place this small, they have a local gym. The gym quality leaves a lot to be desired, though. Khabib barely broke a sweat against Blaine. A rain dance boosted surf was all it took to one-shot everything in sight. If you were thinking the last gym in the region would be any different, think again. Well, actually, no. Think less. In fact, don't think at all. Just use Surf 5 times and all of Giovanni's Pokemon drop like a rock. We've conquered every gym in the region, but that isn't enough to prove that we're the strongest bunch around. Before we can head to the Indigo Plateau and fight the strongest trainers in Kanto, our rival shows up to test our skills. Unlike last time, Atlas isn't poisoned because the damage stacked up too much and it didn't actually help him get the damage range necessary to take out Pidgeot this time. Instead, he gets his attack lowered, then gets crit by a wing attack. His secret power technique still does enough to finish off the bird, but now that Alakazam is out, I have to send in Bruce. His special defense is high enough to withstand a non-critical hit from Psychic, then he demonstrates the same skills that earned him his purple belt against Sabrina. Unlike the last battle, Khabib is ready for Charizard's wing attacks and manages to avoid being crit, but his focus on defense has made him ill-prepared to strike back, as a Surf does not manage to get the KO. That means Ali too has to come in to finish the job, but Gary had the same instincts as me and also swapped out Charizard into Execute. Ali too tries to kick his pile of eggs but misses and then gets paralyzed. Not your best performance. Remember your fundamentals. He does have a hidden skill, the use of an elemental punch. His special is awful, but it's enough for the 2-hit KO after being paralyzed multiple turns in a row. The issue now is that his Charizard is back in. Ali too is hurt, but everyone else is too, except Tyson too, who can't handle this form of combat. I need Ali too to fight through the pain. He needs to clutch up and hit a Mach Punch. And he does. Extensive training has prepared him for this moment, and he came through for us. Tyson 2 is much more ready for a fight against Rhyhorn, and a cross chop takes it out in one hit. Khabib has to come in and deal with his Gyarados despite his wounds, but a water absorb keeps him hydrated. A few hits and he's able to take down his Gyarados. These battles are getting tough, but with each test my students get stronger. They're ready to see if what they've learned throughout their journey is enough to earn them the title of being the strongest fighters in all of Kanto. First up is Master Lorelei and her ice types. In theory, this should be an easy introductory battle, as we should have the type advantage. Bruce leads the way to show everyone how it's done. Lorelei does have a few psychic types, but they don't have any psychic moves. They're not a real threat, they're a paper tiger. Bruce starts us off right with a clean sweep of the first fight. Second is Sensei Bruno, supposedly the toughest pure fighter in Kanto. We'll see about that. It's Khabib's turn to dish out some pain. His Onix are both easily defeated, and while Khabib can't one-shot with Psychic the way that Bruce could, he's still hitting hard, and he takes punches well. Bruno's inferior Hitmonlee misses his Mega Kicks twice in a row. Someone has been slacking off with their training. His Machamp starts to bulk up, which is pretty threatening. Thanks to the Citrus Berry, Psychic won't be a 2-hit KO. I can't swap in anyone safely, so Khabib is just going to have to fight his way out of this one. His Machamp misses his cross chop, then Khabib lands a crit with Psychic to take it out. Looks like Bruno has been resting on his laurels for way too long. He's gotten lazy, complacent. His team lacks the inner drive and focus necessary to become an elite fighting group. I would never allow this of my students, and that's why we came out on top. Next is one of the most dangerous masters in all of Kanto, Agatha. She uses dirty tricks like status conditions and unhittable ghosts to secure victory after victory, but not today. Her reign of terror ends here. Khabib is unfazed by her antics, not missing a single move in spite of the double teams. Golbat gets in a few blows, but she can't outdamage Khabib. Haunter is her newest student, and her weakest, but Khabib shows no mercy. Things are going poorly for her, so she sends in the big guns, her strongest Gengar. Right away, Khabib puts it to sleep. Then Tyson 2 gets hit way too hard by a Sludge Bomb to stay in the fight. So it's going to be up to Atlas 2 to slow this thing down. Both fighters restore health with Citrus Berries, but Atlas is stronger and comes out on top. He's too weak from his wounds, so Ali 2 has to come in and try to fight her Snake. Both of them trade a few hits, but Agatha has no one left to relieve her Arbok. while we've still got a healthy and ready to fight Bruce waiting to come in and finish the job. The last of the fighters known as the Elite Four is Dragon Master Lance. In order to defeat the mythical beasts, I have to break one of the rules of my dojo. I'm going to have to think just a little bit. I have Ali 2 poison his Gyarados with a Toxic, then Detect Stall so the poison starts to do its job. Poison alone isn't enough, so I need him to throw a few quick jabs, but he gets hit hard with a Hyper Beam. He holds on because he's one tough cookie, and the recharge turn means I can send in Khabib safely as the poison finishes off Gyarados. This means Khabib can safely take a wing attack and retaliate with a Surf to one-shot his most dangerous Pokemon for our squad. Dragonite comes in, and while Ice Beam doesn't get the KO, Lance uses a defensive strategy that doesn't pay off for him. That's what you get for being timid, Lance. Khabib gets paralyzed by the Dragonair, but he's unfazed. Lance tries to save its life by using full restores, but eventually Khabib wins the battle. He's taken a lot of punishment, so I decide to give him a breather and let Atlas come in and try to handle things. He can't seem to handle the pressure of the situation and misses 2 cross chops in a row. I have to call on someone I know I can rely on, Bruce. He handles the fight that was too tough for Atlas, and with that we've defeated the so-called Elite Four. That should be enough to earn us the title of strongest trainer in the region, but our rival beat us to it. He's been training harder than ever since we made fun of him in Lavender Town for being too scrawny. Time for one last bout to settle this once and for all. Bruce and Pidgeot trade blows, but as Gary goes to heal his injured bird, Bruce prepares to strike with force and takes it out. He gets too excited and sends in his Alakazam, but little does he know that Bruce has been trained to deal with these exact circumstances extensively. Gary is now panicked, desperate. He sends in his Charizard hoping his strongest student can save him, but Bruce is ready. A Rock Slide pummels his starter. Bruce is getting pretty exhausted, so I have Ali 2 tag in and Toxic the Exeggutor. He tries to put Ali 2 to sleep, but he doesn't have time for any of that. His job here is done, so I have Tyson 2 come in and use his aerial combat skills to do enough damage to ensure the poison chops down his tree. I have Khabib handle his Rhydon, and now all that remains is his Gyarados. He uses a cheap scare tactic to try and throw Khabib off his game, but he puts him to sleep in retaliation. This means Atlas can come in and miss another attack. I know this is the last battle and you guys are nervous, but this is what you trained for. You should be ready. After my pep talk, Atlas comes through in the clutch and not only hits a Rock Tomb, but paralyzes with a secret power. That's the Atlas I know. One final Rock Tomb and we've done it. Through the guidance of Sifu Kyle, my disciples have become the strongest fighters in all of Kanto. I had a blast with this one. Hopefully you did too. If you did, please give the video a like as it really helps me out a lot. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to upload a new video every 2 weeks and there's plenty of challenges left to attempt. Well, it's about time for me to head out. Thanks for watching and I'll smell you later.